I think I say this a lot, but I think I say it a lot because it's very important. It so matters that other people are saying the same things to our kids that we're saying, because they start not listening to us at all, right? We're just kind of like the blah, blah. I mean, like, I hear you talking, but I'm not listening to you. It is so important that other people are telling your kids those things. And so it is important to surround yourself with whatever you want to call it, a family, a tribe.
All right, this is Into the Fray. I'm Austin.
I'm Robbie.
And this week we have Miss Marcy Corkern on. Yes, okay.
Good.
I always feel like I'm screwing up that name.
You got it.
Yeah, okay. So, Miss Marcy, we're going to just get to know you a little bit. Where are you from? Why'd you move to Alapaha when you apparently love Louisiana more?
Just the Tigers, maybe not Louisiana so much.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm from a tiny little town called Newellton, Louisiana. It is about the size of big ol' Alapaha. So, yeah, no.
Wow. Okay.
When we moved here, everybody was like, oh, you live there, it's kind of small. But, I mean, that's where Chris and I both grew up, in small towns, so very similar to each other.
Was it close?
They were about 45 minutes from each other. We didn't know each other growing up. Met after I graduated high school. Worked at the same place during the summer.
Okay. And then you said you met after high school?
After I graduated high school, yes, we worked at the same place during the summers.
Where was that?
It was at a research station, like a crop research station. Real exciting stuff.
Okay. Okay, and so what do you do now?
Okay, I'm a pharmacist.
Pharmacist?
Yes.
Why'd you become a pharmacist?
I knew you were going to ask that. I knew you were. Not one of those real, like something really grabbed me and said, this is what you've got to do. So I'm filling out college applications, and my mama says, there's a place here that says you have to put a major. I think you would be really good at pharmacy. I said, I would never do that. It looks so boring. Yeah. So she said, how about you go spend a little time with our little pharmacist? We have one little pharmacist in town. I was like, okay, I'll do that. So I did that one summer, fell in love with it. Absolutely in love with it.
And your husband, what does he do?
He is like a research scientist. He does, it kind of sounds crazy, but work on crops like cotton, corn, that kind of stuff, but more on the research side. Like, does this new chemical work well? How does this new crop with this new technology work? That kind of stuff. The kids laugh when they have to put his occupation. They're like, I don't even know what to call this.
Farmer.
Yeah.
Okay. And so when y'all moved to Alapaha, did you hate it at first? Did you love it?
I wanted to not like it because it was and is about 9 hours from where I grew up. So I really wanted to not like it, but it just seemed like a good opportunity for us at the time. We just had Lainey and Marshall in. Lainey had just turned 3. Marshall was 10 months old. So, like I said, wanted to really not like it, but fell in love with it. Fell in love with the little community, just got into a really good local church. This was really poured into by so many people. And it became home. And my mama still doesn't like to hear that, but it became home.
Yeah. And so weren't you a part of First Baptist?
Alapaha Baptist,
Okay. And so how long was it before you made the transition to the bridge?
Oh gosh, Robbie, how long has the bridge been? 10 years?
Yeah, we celebrate 10 years.
So it must have been about 8 years that I've been here. 9 years, maybe.
So you didn't
you been here?
jump?
I didn't come immediately.
No. It was a couple of years. I don't know.
It's got to be about
7,
8.
8, somewhere.
Yeah, it's got to be about 8.
Yeah.
So we've been here Marshall is 19,
Mm-hmm.
so we've been here 18 years in Alapahaw. 18 years.
Yeah.
Wait, when did the bridge start?
It's 10 years old. Yeah. Marcy came, I remember when I literally, because I was at, and by the way, there's only Lapaw Baptist. We don't have First Second Baptist in Lapaw, dude, because there's only one Baptist church. But it's Lapaw
Oh,
Baptist.
okay.
Yeah. But anyway, I was there with Marcy too. And so when Marcy and her family walked in the doors at the bridge, like we were at the old building kind of thing, it was just like, I just always laugh because people that I have served Jesus with over the years and have just influenced my life so much, when they kind of walk through the door, it's kind of like, I joked with Keith Purvis when he first came in. It's like picking the dream team, like you want to serve with, because you know their heart, you know how God's used, you know what I mean? And so when the Corkern family walked in, it felt like one of those. But it was like you didn't want to put any pressure or anything like that. And so, yeah, Marcy was, I think, about a year of coming and just getting loved on and worshiping with us. And then, yeah, she hit the ground running after that as far as serving and leading. So.
Well, I'd really pushed back. I didn't want it to be Marcy left and followed.
Yeah.
Just because she just left and followed. I didn't want it to be that way.
No.
I literally prayed that God would make me so uncomfortable that I would have, because I was very comfortable. I knew where things were. I was probably the one who put them there. You know, it was just that kind of thing. And it was a fabulous experience. I mean, that's where I got saved.
Sure.
That's where, that's where some of my children got saved. I mean, it was a fantastic experience, but it was time to go. And so I just prayed, God, that I don't want to get out of my comfort zone, but you're going to have to make me so uncomfortable that I know that I can't do anything else. And he answered that prayer.
Be careful what you ask.
Absolutely.
So how was it those first years at the bridge? Because it was still pretty new.
Refreshing.
Not established church like Alapahaw Baptist.
Yeah, so it was fresh and new and something that you didn't, like nobody wanted anything from me. Nobody was, it was just, it was nice. And of course, it wasn't like we had to vet Robbie and his preaching. I mean, I knew him. I knew his heart. I knew what that part was going to be like. So it felt good. Felt right.
Yeah. Nice. Okay.
Can I ask a question real quick, Austin?
Go ahead.
So since we are going to talk about kids in a minute, so the most important question, since all four, I don't know if Carmen listens to the podcast or not. I hope she does. She's my favorite. But so with that question being said, who's your favorite? You want to say?
You want to say who the kids say my favorite is?
Yeah. Who do they say?
Well, the kids say that Colton is my favorite.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they
Smart
love
choice.
to throw him
Very
under
smart
the
choice.
bus and say it's because she had to spend so much time taking care of him.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes, they love
All
to
three
throw
of
him
them
under
would
the
say
bus.
it's Colton. Okay.
Absolutely. Now, if you ask Carmen, she's going to say it may be Lainey
Okay.
because she's the oldest and you spend a lot of time with her. And Marshall will say, of course, it's not me. I'm sort of the middle. I mean, I guess if you have four, there's no. And then Carmen will say, it's definitely not me. And they're all like, you're the baby.
Yeah.
Everybody babies
Aw.
you. Everybody. Nobody gets onto you like they get onto us. All of that. Typical sibling stuff.
Yep.
What does Colton think? Does he just accept it?
Would you ever know what Colton thinks?
That's a great point.
It's just not going to say.
Question. So this episode we're talking about disciplining children because Miss Bree Trow asked us to tackle this subject. So thank you to Bree.
Yep.
It's so great when people suggest topics because then we don't have to come up with them. Please do that more. But so we're talking about disciplining children, and I'm not a parent. I have no experience really disciplining children. And so we definitely wanted to have a lady on, a mom. And two, Miss Marcy has like the best kids I've ever met. Seriously. Like that they are all like perfect. I mean they have their Colton is hard to get to talk to, and Carmen has a million things that she wants to tell you and you can't remember any of them. But they're all genuinely like some of the best kids I've ever met.
Are.
And they're
They really are.
brilliant. every single one of them. Every time I leave from talking to one of them, it's like I have something new to learn or go research on. And so, yeah, I end up finding myself looking up to your kids, even though your kids are all younger than me. And so we're here today to ask you, what's the secret to parenting?
How'd you do it,
Yeah.
Marcy? Please.
Well, there's one secret, and there's only one thing that you should know. I mean, are you kidding? This is the part where you say, literally, thank you, Lord, for filling in the gaps where I have messed it up or didn't even think about something, and you just provided. Or there were other people. I think I say this a lot, but I think I say it a lot because it's very important. It so matters that other people are saying the same things to our kids that we're saying, because they start not listening to us at all, right?
Yeah.
We're just kind of like the blah, blah. I mean, like, I hear you talking, but I'm not listening to you. It is so important that other people are telling your kids those things. And so it is important to surround yourself with whatever you want to call it, a family, a tribe, or, whatever, those people that are pouring in to your kids. And we have that here at the Bridge. If people think we don't, they've never met Austin. I mean, seriously, you initiate relationships with everybody that walks through the door. That's a rarity, and it is special. It is so special. And Robbie, I mean, my kids just kind of think that, it's not this, oh, it's Mr. Robbie, the pastor that I could never talk to. I mean, they're like, hey, Mr. Robbie. I mean, it's just important. It's important to surround yourself, your family.
That makes me think. I just read a book not too long ago called Take Back Your Family. And I mentioned this in the abortion episode, but kind of his argument is that for thousands of years, how families were was you do family with your grandparents and your aunts and your uncles, and you have that tribe, and that's how you keep the family going. Is you stay tight knit together and y'all reinforce each other's beliefs and ideas. And how tragic it is that in the West we are very isolated from our families, and a lot of kids will purposely move states away to get away from their family because they're like, I don't want anything to do with my family. So with you had to move to Alapahaw not because you wanted to get away from your family. How did you find that community? Like, was that even like on purpose, or did you just accidentally come across a great group of people? And
not intentionally on purpose, which kind of makes me feel a little guilty, honestly.
That's good.
Literally moved. I mean, and Robbie knows where I live, literally out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, like, you got to be coming to my house to end up there. You're not just going to be like, oh, this must be where Marcy lives. Lived across the street from a couple that had a child that was Marshall's age, and we were there for 2 days. It was kind of weird. Down the dirt road, all of a sudden there's these big trucks unloading furniture, like, oh, what's going on here? I mean, knock at the door. Hey, I just want to invite y'all to church. Hey, they saw us out, at different times. Hey, and Chris would come home and be like, hey, they invited us to church again. Honestly, just kind of went the first time, just kind of like, okay, let's go, because they just won't stop. And, God provided. I mean, literally, God provided. And he really has put people, amazing people in my life. And so.
Hey, on the reinforcement thing, I was just thinking to Marcy, so obviously having other voices speaking the same thing, but for you and Chris, all right, so with any of them, but specifically with Lainey being your oldest kind of thing, were y'all both on the same page as far as discipline? Did y'all have to kind of work through some of that? I mean, kind of...
I think there's things you have to work through. I mean, I think we kind of we definitely are shaped by how we were disciplined as kids,
Sure.
right? Not necessarily does that mean that's the way you follow it. It may make you say, I'm going to do the complete opposite, but we're shaped by that. So we came in with not too terribly different styles, I guess, like that. But there were times, especially with Laney, especially with the first, because you have all these things in your mind like, oh my goodness, if they don't know this, if we don't teach them this, did you see her? Mr. So-and-so spoke to her and she put her head down instead of, the beauty queen smile. I mean, so many things that you get wrapped up in that this is the important stuff, which is kind of what I laugh and tell them about Carmen. Y'all think we don't discipline her. It's because by the time you get to number 4, you're like, yeah, but that stuff's not important.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the important stuff.
Yep.
So that's the stuff. So, yeah, there were some things. And I think throughout there have always been things where one of us might call the other one out in private, not in front of them.
Yep.
But about, I think you were a little, you were a little hard. Or did you see his face? Like, I think we went too far, or, he really didn't respond the way we intended him to. I think there needs to be more. So, yeah, it was kind of working through it.
Yeah, that's so good. Because Carrie and I, we've had kind of bumps, I guess, along the way as far as discipline. Our 3, too. With Bryce being special needs, obviously, because each kid's different.
Yes.
I mean, the personality different. Like, you go into it, like Marcy's point, like, so Griffin, our oldest, you kind of have this mentality. It's kind of like, this is how we're going to do it, and this is going to be the results. And then it's just... it blows up in your face, from the get-go kind of thing. You're like, we got to pivot. We got to figure out how this thing works. But then you figure out from one child to the next, well, this may have worked for Griffin. It's definitely not going to work for Bryce. But even for Cole, it doesn't work. Different personalities. One, you would have to discipline. I mean, get on. He is so much like me. I mean, he can be very hard-headed kind of thing. Cole, you could look at him. I mean, you just give him a look, and especially when he was little, he'd be like fall to pieces kind of thing. Like, it's just totally different.
Yeah.
So how you discipline them, but Carrie and I, and Marcy said that earlier, which is so important. And we didn't crush it all the time like that. When you disagree about anything, but even discipline, like whomever's doing the discipline or whatever kind of thing, if the other one, there needs to be something said, do it in private, because man, you want to cause some rift. You say something in front of your kids about it, and they know what's up, and they will use that. Bud.
They are masters at
Absolutely.
it. I mean, they see one little chink in the armor, and they're going for it.
Yep.
I mean,
for sure.
Yes.
But that communication is so important, and it's not easy. Or I don't know, for Carrie and I, it was it wasn't, because maybe I thought I had it all figured out. I don't know, but it's just it's hard trying to find a balance of how to discipline, when to discipline. There are different personalities. There's just a lot that goes into it. So.
Do y'all think y'all could have been prepared for what it was going to take to raise a kid? Like when it comes to the parenting and all? Or do you think that it's something that, like, it kind of makes me think about how when an engaged couple, they get engaged, the thing people say is like, well, you're never going to have enough money to feel secure and complete, so you might as well just go ahead and bite the bullet. Is it kind of like that same mindset of you're never going to have all your ducks in a row, you're going to have to figure it out as you go, so just work with what you got?
Well, I mean, I think you can prepare. I mean, I think there definitely are things that, man, I wish if I had known those things before, some of those things would have become a priority. Like, for instance, when we had Laney and Marshall, neither one of us were Christians. So, I mean, I thought I was weirdishly, but I wasn't. And so, although I wanted my kids to be good and I wanted them to do things that were right, the motives were probably not all that pure. And I think that's a very important thing about discipline from the get-go. You have to understand the why. I think that's important about everything. Like, why are we doing this? Why? What's the purpose of this? Because I can't speak for dads, but I'll speak for me as a mom, sometimes we get so sideways and feel like our identity comes from how our child performed. Like, did they say yes, sir?
Yeah.
Did they say all the right things? Did they do all the right things? Oh my goodness, I can never share this horrible thing that my kid has done. I can't ask for prayer about this. I can't reach out to anybody because I'm a bad mom if my child has done this.
Agreed.
So we get so sideways about that. It's so foolish, really, when you think about it. I mean, you know, what better thing could you do than bring your community in and let people literally say, I've been there, done that. It's not the end of the world. Yeah. You know, God's not looking at their performance. He's not, you know, with his little checklist going, way to go. Oh, no, not that one. So... yes, I think there are ways you can prepare, but there are some things you could never prepare for. Never.
No. You're going to learn as you go. I mean, through trial and error. I mean, you know, kind of thing. I think even like, I mean, honestly, again, not just a plug for the podcast, but having these type of conversations, like I wish I'd have known and heard from different ones going into it, just like with marriage. I mean, I wish I would have heard the bad stuff, the difficult stuff going into it. You know what I mean? Because Marcy, I think, crushed it. Because for me, like one of the questions, because Carrie and I were both unbelievers when we had Griffin. When she had Griffin, I didn't. Well, anyway.
You did.
Yeah, sort of. No, not really. Anyway, so, but as a believer, I noticed early on, like even in disciplining him, it was kind of like, why am I so mad? I mean, why am I so frustrated? Is it because of his sin, because of his disobedience, or is it that vicariously living through him, or my identity's attached to him and it's being reflective on what kind of dad I am? I mean, and I found out that was really what was making me, I guess, most upset, angry in most of the circumstances. And so I think having these type of conversations through because truth is, we learn through other people's, you know, victories and successes, our own as well as their mistakes, our mistakes and others. And I just wish people were more open about how hard it is and stuff that you can glean from, okay, well, I want to avoid that. Because I think what we tend to do is like, I don't know, I guess it's a fleshly thing. It's more behavior modification. So it's like, this is how I discipline my kids. Take this, cookie cut it, you do yours the same, and this is going to be the result. Right. And it's not, you know, because ours, it's about heart transformation. Yeah. I mean, which is huge, because we're talking about discipline. I mean, again, we're not and that's another word we say a lot of times, like we're punishing kind of thing, but it's not. I mean, those are not just different words, but different philosophies. Like discipline is, man, it's done with love, and it's to correct and get back on a path because you love them and you want the best for them. Not that I'm just slamming the hammer because you disobeyed me. You know. So,
to get to that heart transformation, you have to go back to what Miss Marcy said. You have to understand the why of what you're telling your kids. How do you begin that process? Like, how did y'all start that process with your spouses? Did y'all like sit down and say, okay, we need to like think through each individual thing, or what's?
Well, of course I did, because no, absolutely not. You don't think about things like that. Yeah. You just sort of think that you know how to do that. Like when you go home from the hospital with your baby, everybody just assumes you know how to take care of the baby. I mean, you know. So, I mean, I never gave a second thought to that. I just sort of thought that you figure out how to do this. And everybody, I mean, of course you do what's right. I think it is so important, though, when we're talking about heart transformation, you have to spend time. You have to spend the time. If you think that you're going to change their heart or have an impact on their life for the better by just pointing your finger and saying, this is what you have to do. Here are all the do's. Here are all the don'ts. And I'm going to beat you over the head with a little bit of scripture because God said, do this and don't do this. You're sadly mistaken. It is all about, in the very beginning, when they are very, very little, setting that whole, this is your safe place. I love you. I'm always going to love you. I'm going to be angry with you. I'm not going to always agree with you, but I love you. This is your safe place always. I tell my grown kids that, like,
Yeah.
You are going to make decisions that I'm not going to agree with. And that's okay. But you can always come here. This is always the place where you're loved. We may disagree, but we love you.
Yeah.
And I think if that's not your foundation, then why would they trust you? Why would they trust that what your discipline is good? Why would they ever think that?
Yeah. We brought Griffin home, man. We want to take him back. I mean, I kid you not. He screamed the entire ride, like 30 minutes, Bloody Mary kind of thing. We were like, what have we done? I mean, here's, this kid. And so, I mean, he gets older and you start discipline. Yeah, a lot of it, because you do, I think, take a lot from your own experience, from how your mom and dad discipline you and what you've seen or whatever kind of thing, with the good and the bad kind of deal. But I think to Marcy's point, the communication has to, I mean, like even like not just coming in and, okay, they didn't take trash out, they didn't clear the room, they did something they shouldn't have done kind of thing. And you just going in, okay, this is what's going to happen. Not even just like, I mean, we should like set up, okay, if this happens, then this would be the result. But if you just go in there and you're just yelling, or even if you're not yelling, you're just talking and you're not asking questions. I mean, because I think most of it's kind of like, I mean, myself as a kid, I try and talk myself out of anything, but to hear their heart. And maybe they do try and get out of it or whatever, but at least there's that open line of communication. You know what I mean? That I'm going to listen to why this happened and get beneath the surface of just the behavior, whatever it was. And I mean, one of the things that really more recent, I guess, just with my walk with Christ is, does our discipline reflect who God is like? Because he disciplines us as his children. And so when I go to discipline my child, I mean, there's just some very, practical stuff like, okay, I'm not going to do it in anger, which means sometimes I gotta take a little time out myself, like, because I'm mad and I don't want to discipline them. I don't want to say something, that I can't take back, that I'm gonna have to ask for forgiveness. I don't want to do anything because I want to reflect the glory of God, even in disciplining my kids, and that's a tough thing. But I think it's paramount to have those conversations with your kids, that open line of communication with them, but then also with your spouse or whomever else is in the home that's going to be doing the discipline, so that you're on the same page.
Yeah. I'll just say this to that too. I think it is horrible when one spouse does the disciplining and the other gets to be the
Agreed.
good guy all the time.
Agreed.
All the time. I'm always, if every word that ever came out of my mouth was, just wait till your daddy gets home. That's so unfair.
Yeah.
That's so unfair.
Yeah.
I mean, number one, it's not in the moment. So they don't even, they've put it like, I got away with that one. Check, Chris comes home. He has no idea what's happened. I mean, he doesn't. And so we used to always laugh when I was growing up at my parents. My mama she was good at, I'm going to discipline right now. I'm going to take care of it.
Yeah.
If my daddy ever had to get involved, it was never the fear of anything physical. I say this and my brother and sister are going to go, but I really don't remember him spanking me too many times. However, he would give you the biggest guilt trip speech you have ever heard in all of your life. But it always started with, I cannot believe you would do that to your mother.
Oh, wow.
I cannot believe that somebody who does all these things for you, that's the way you would treat her. Yeah. And we would always be like, get the belt, get this, whatever, switch, whatever it is, please. But looking back on that, I think that always made me feel like, number one, I was never going to get away with anything. Mm-hmm. And number two, Daddy was going to always, like, if I had done something to Mama, he was not okay with it. He was not okay with it.
No.
And I think that's important. Like I said, I think it's not fair when one parent has to
agree.
do.
And I even tried, like, why do we do it that way? I mean, why is it typically it's always the man? I mean, like, I understand, like, obviously there's tons of biblical proverbs all over Scripture kind of thing of us discipline our kids. And again, we're not, I guess, really talking more so about how you discipline your kids. I mean, do spank or time out or take something? None of that, but it's more the philosophy of it, the why of it kind of thing. But I just think that's a horrible thing that it's always kind of the one parent that's there, or it's just dad. I just don't think that's a biblical model either. And I think it does more disservice within the home.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, if it's whomever's there, and it's a team effort, no doubt. But if you are pinning one against the other, I don't know. It just seems to me like there's more. I mean, my dad did it, but my mama, she'd get after you, man, with that ping pong paddle. She would wear you out. So I don't know.
Yeah, my parents were both the bad guy constantly.
Yeah.
But it did make me think of when you were talking about how something me and my siblings talk about a lot, and me and my boss talk about a lot, is like the misconception that if you're a strict parent, you're unloving to your kids. And I don't know, for me, my parents were really strict. Like we had to watch Sky Angel, if you know what that is. They got rid of.
No.
Okay, so somebody came into the church that we were at and said that you need to get rid of Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon.
Okay.
Get rid of all this secular stuff and get Sky Angel. It's this Christian.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Worst thing ever. And so we had to watch Christian kid shows all the time and preaching all the time. But growing up, like our parents were pretty strict, and eventually we got off of that and we came back to Cartoon Network. But they, like, people in the community knew our family, my parents were very strict, and not like we're gonna beat you if you color outside the lines on the coloring book. But it was just like, we don't go to parties, we don't have alcohol in the house, we don't make certain jokes, we don't watch certain things on TV. You're going to read your Bible every night, and you don't skip church for basketball practice. Like, there's all these different rules, and the conversation me and my siblings have had a lot is, what was that good or bad? Do we appreciate it or not? And I ended up saying, like, I really am thankful my parents were so strict, because it is insane to me that you let your kid just do whatever they want when they don't know what they want at any age. And it, like, even I think about I'm not saying every parent has to do this, but this worked for my family. Of our parents didn't let us skip church for basketball practice on Wednesday nights. And what it taught me growing up, even though I hated it, I was like, God, I'd much rather go play basketball than hear this youth pastor. But it taught me over time of, no, gathering as a church is way more important than basketball. And that, being removed from that years from now, it's made me be like, oh, that's something I would actually want to carry on with my children, is like, you set up these really strict rules, but my parents did communicate why they were being so strict. And with them being so strict, it turned me into the type of person I am today. And I can look back and be like, oh, like, no, y'all, they didn't have everything figured out. But what y'all did, what your intentions were, did come through in the end. And it's the reason I'm following Jesus today, is because my parents made sure we watched VeggieTales all the time. And they made sure we listened to Charles Stanley every Sunday. And it was like, and because they didn't let just anything come into the house, and they had all these rules, it really shaped and formed us into a certain type of people. Granted, we have the choice of, when you're 18, what you're going to do with that. But for me, it's very much so the reason I am the person I am today. So
did they stick with those? I mean, they laid out the guidelines, so y'all knew ahead of time.
Yeah. Did
they always, or not always, I guess, but pretty much always stick to those? Like, if you broke those, there were consequences.
Yeah.
Do you ever struggle with that, Marcy? Like, you kind of lay it down, the law down, and then they cross it? Because that's what we do. Sin, we want to see how far we can go, kind of thing.
Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. Sometimes we speak before we should, because out of anger we say, if you do this, blah, blah, blah. And then you're kind of stuck.
Yes.
So you got one or two options, I think, to safely get yourself out of this. You either have to follow through wholeheartedly, 100%, or you have to legitimately, seriously apologize for, I should not have said that. That was out of line. What I meant was this.
And as a kid, I vividly remember every time my dad came into my room and apologized, because it was like, oh my gosh, like,
that was powerful.
Yeah, it's so powerful. Even my mom, my mom didn't have to apologize as much, but when she apologized, I vividly remember it, because it was like, oh no, you really care. Like you don't actually just make up rules as you go, or like flippantly with no reason. You're thinking these things through, and if you make a mistake, you're going to come back and say, hey, Austin, I'm sorry. That rule was me just being angry in the moment.
Well, and the question, like what I've learned too, is when it comes to, like, because I've done that. Like because in that moment, like, you're so frustrated, and you're not thinking, you're definitely not praying and processing it completely. So I'm going to throw that thing. I'm going to give that away. If you that Xbox or whatever it is, like, and then you know the minute you said that, like, that's just stupid. Like, why did I even say that kind of stuff? But then when they break it, like Marcy said, okay, now what you going to do? Like, are you really going to throw it away? Give it away? Then you backtrack. But for me, it's always, man, when I walk in that room in humility and then ask for forgiveness. I mean, for my child to see that, and it's so good for my heart. I mean, that's what I need to do, because I need to do that. I need to ask for forgiveness. But for them to see that, because you think about it, like, we get so frustrated with our kids that do something over and over again when they mess up. But don't I do that with my own sin? I mean, I got besetting sins right now that I have struggled with for decades, kind of thing. And I just wonder if God was like, all right, that's the last time, throwing it out, throwing you out. You know what I mean? No, he doesn't do that. So just kind of seeing it through that lens, because after the 10th time, I'm ready to chunk it. Yeah. It's a sin issue. It's a heart issue,
So how do y'all keep y'all's headspace right so that you don't just lash out in anger constantly with your kids? Is there, like, tricks you've learned over the years of, like, when I get angry, I have to immediately, like, run into my prayer closet, or, like, what did...
I hope I've gotten better with it over time, because in the beginning, again, I'll say this, I mean, God bless Lainey's heart. That first child, you are just bent on, they are going to do all these things, they have to act this way. They can't act this way. And so I hope over the years, over the children, that I've gotten better with being more concerned about their motive and their heart than I am about them following a rule. Like, listening to why. Because Robbie said this earlier, sometimes, like, we have in our mind, you only did that because you're trying to defy me. Maybe not that at all. Maybe they're thinking something that you really, either one, you don't know that's kind of bothering them, or they're thinking something that you haven't thought about, and it certainly doesn't mean that you're right and they're wrong. I mean, so I just really think, remembering again, what is our purpose of this? What is our purpose? What do we want this discipline to do to their heart? You brought this up, Ravi, in a earlier podcast. I cannot remember which one it was, but it has made such an impression. I've told anybody that hears this that knows me is going to be like, I've already heard that. It was in Philemon, where Paul is telling him to take him back. Take him back. He's now a brother in Christ. He said, basically, I'm paraphrasing here, but I could force you to. Like, I'm so sure in Christ that I could instruct you to do this. But I'd rather that you did it out of love. Yeah. And I think that is what I want. I wish I had known that 20 years ago. Like, that's what I would like my parenting to end like. That when my kids are, I mean, Lainey is 21, when she's 30, when she's 40, that she's thinking through these things that we've taught her and we've given her the ability to do. We've allowed her some space to be able to do that, but not because I said so, but she's doing it out of love. Mm-hmm. And she knows that we taught her that out of love, not out of, I need you to act this way so that people look at me and say, you're such a good mother,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that first one's an experiment, man. And you're just trying to see what works, what sticks, and trial and error a ton. It's tough though. I mean, it really is. Being consistent, because you really do. Like, I want to be, like, so when I go, like, when something happens, like, I've laid something down, or Carrie and I have discussed something with the kids, and we kind of foresee it's going to be broke kind of thing. So we're preparing for, kind of what's next kind of thing. But when, it's anything, it's how we react. I mean, it's one thing to prepare kind of thing, if you know what's coming. That's not how most of this works. I mean, a kid does something because whatever kind of thing. And it happens a lot of times when you don't see it coming. And so how you react. So, yeah, I didn't, and Carrie didn't as well. We didn't do it well at all early on in our marriage as far as disciplining our kids, because we didn't take the time just to, okay, I'm not going to do this in frustration and anger and in the moment. I mean, there are times where the discipline needs to be obviously kind of more, right then when it happens, and not that you wait, days or anything like that. But if it's just 5 or 10 minutes. And I'm just not going to escalate. I'm not going to cause them to shut down that line of communication because I'm frustrated and yelling. So there's got to be composure. And that's, it's a hard thing because they have done something that, either you've told them they couldn't do or something that just, I mean, again, why God tells us there's, these things that we shouldn't do is not that He's restricting us, that He actually wants the best for us. And that's where my heart now has been moved over the last few years with my kids is, man, I'm not doing this because I told you couldn't because I'm withholding. It's because I want the best for you. Yeah. And there's consequences when we don't.
Yeah.
How did y'all's parents, the way they disciplined y'all, come into how y'all discipline your kids?
I think we kind of modeled that a lot. I mean, I had great parents.
Okay.
I have great parents. And so, I mean, they're not perfect, but, I think they did a really good job. And again, they really, whether they intended to or not, they really hit that we love you and no matter what you do, we're here. So that foundation was set. And so, yeah, I think I modeled a lot after what they did.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to honor my dad who's been with the Lord for years. But he would wear your tail out. I mean, man, I remember, he would do. And what's funny is, I don't know if Marcy does this, but I'll tell you I've done it. Like I said, you learn from your parents, good and bad. And there's some things like I'm never going to do that. And then you catch yourself saying it or doing it, and you're like, dog. Like my dad would make me go pick a belt out. Like I vividly, like as a kid, like you go, and I would go, and I don't think they had like the cloth flimsy, but I would, whatever the smallest, most flimsy belt, and then he'd send me back, to get a bigger one kind of thing. And I promise you, I did that one time with, I think it was Griffin kind of thing. And then I stopped because I'm not as dumb. That was scarring for life kind of thing. And I wasn't even going to whip him. I just kind of, I don't know, wanted to prove a point or whatever. But yeah, my dad, my mom too. I mean, my mom's sweet as gold kind of thing. But when she got to that point, man, you knew you better run. You better go. I mean, because she was get you kind of thing. But I don't know. And it could be that I just blocked it out, that I don't remember those conversations, taking place. But I don't remember a lot of communication, and not that because I was really, really hard-headed. If that would have helped, but I just don't remember. It was more just the physical, you broke this, you didn't do this, my dad was going to take care of it kind of thing. And yeah, you had the fear of God in you kind of thing, but there was not a whole lot of, communication.
Yeah. I remember I didn't really get spanked. I was probably more like Cole in that my dad could just look at me. I'm going under the table. I'm crying. I'm like, I'm sorry. So I will never do it again. But I remember so I definitely had a fear of my dad.
Yeah.
But then looking back, there's a fear of him, but it wasn't like a you're gonna abuse me fear. It was like I want to please you. Like I want you to think I did a good job. And when I disappoint you, I feel like a disappointment.
Yeah.
And not in like a shameful way, but like because my parents were good at they were good at making us feel loved even in the discipline. I think at least in there's definitely my parents had this sort of respect of like, we're not your best friends. We're not going to try to be your best friends. We're going to love you more than your best friends will. And we're going to tell you when you screw up, but we're also going to help you come back from that screw up. If that makes sense.
Marcy, can I ask you, because this is, again, a little on the outside, I guess.
Sure.
I mean, Lainey's 21. She's, moved back to beautiful Louisiana. But y'all seem like really, really close.
We are.
Okay. So when it comes to, because I know with a lot of parents, there's that, again, just balance in life in general, but especially since we're talking about disciplining our kids, that balance of, okay, I am your parent and I love you, but I am going to set these, these guardrails, these rules, whatever you want to call it kind of thing. And the completely opposite end of we're just going to be buds. We're going to be friends. I'm never going to discipline you because I don't want you to dislike me. Did you ever struggle with that with Lainey at all, or
all
still?
The time.
Yeah,
all the time. It is easier to be the friend.
Yeah.
It is easier to be the friend, and your kids are going to see it in the world constantly.
Yeah,
constantly, and they're going to remind you of it constantly. Lainey is cringing right now when she listens to this because she knew this was going to come up. She knew. She said, they're going to ask you, who was the hardest one to discipline? And you're going to say me. And I said, I'm not going to lie.
yeah,
So right now, and it's hard to tell because Carmen is 14. So she's still, we got some years. We got some fun years ahead. But Lainey so far is the most like me. So she was the most difficult to deal with because she would say something and I would just, in my head, like completely lose my mind, like think, now, 1 week without the phone. And then she would, smart off as she was, that's 2 weeks now. I mean, it would just quickly escalate. And Chris would just shake his head, and I told him many times, I don't know why you're laughing. You have to deal with 2 of us. I mean, it's literally. So it was interesting. It was difficult, but I could always hear my mama in the back of my head saying, it is not your job to be their friend. It is not your job to be their friend. Not when you're in that disciplining stage. Now, again, you do it all with love.
sure.
Like that's always, we know if we're supposed to model our discipline after God's discipline, that God is love, and so it's not possible for him to discipline without love.
Yeah.
That's what we're supposed to do. So it's all done in love, but it doesn't always feel that way.
Yeah.
And it is hard. It is so hard when you feel like you're the only one or your child is the only one. And I just always told her, I'm sorry. I love you more than that. I love you more than that. And if you do that, if you do those things, if you show them that, like I said, that foundation of love, and remember that it is our job to teach them. That's what we're doing. We're teaching them, and I think if we don't have to hit it out of the park, but if we just get it a little bit right, well, I mean, even if we mess it all the way up, God can do what only God can do. But we're just leaving that door open for him to be able to do.
Yeah.
You know, it just kind of sets him up for that. And I think if we do what we're supposed to do, then the friendship comes later. And I kind of feel like that's where, like, I don't have to, you know, I'm not constantly worried about, what are you doing? What time did you get home? What did you did with this? You know, what did you do with that? I mean, she's calling me, telling me, you know, hey, I'm on my way home from work. You know, that kind of thing. But it's hard. It is so hard because it would be so easy just to say, yeah, you're right, it doesn't matter. Just don't get in too much trouble or don't let anybody see. I mean, you know?
Definitely.
But you can't do that. You can't do that.
No.
I've always told my kids, again, they're cringing, don't act outside of your character. I mean, they're probably going to put it on my headstone. Like, don't act outside of your character. Know who you are.
Yep.
You can answer any question by saying, is this my character? If it is, and it's the wrong thing to do, then buddy, we got bigger problems. I mean, you know, but don't act outside of your character. You know who you are. You know whose you are. Because Carmen has listened to Robbie year after year. She will tell you about being an image bearer. But, you know, like I said, just don't act outside of your character.
That's a lot of wisdom in that. I like that.
I would assume, too, I know we need to kind of wrap up, but part of discipline isn't just telling your kids when they do something wrong and, like, correcting that, but it's also, like, instilling in them, like with their characters, of finding the individual things that make Carmen, Colton, Laney, and Marshall unique, and like watering those areas and helping them strengthen those areas. And
and I would say too, man, like one of the things, again, we obviously with discipline, it's like we catch them doing something or you know, disobeying in whatever capacity, but catching them doing something good and encouraging them, speaking that truth into their life, talking about identity early on with them. I mean, you don't have to wait till, you know, it's teen years and we're worried about, you know, this or that. It's like, man, to Marcy's point, like not acting outside their characters, knowing who they are, who they belong to. And you start that, I mean, early, as soon as you want to, kind of thing, just praying it over them, speaking it over them. But yeah, man, I think because kids know. I mean, I just know, like, my kids, any kids, like, you're not fooling them for long. Like, when you get around kids, students, even kind of stuff, you can mask whatever for a little bit, and they're going to see through it. I mean, they're going to really see whether you really care for them or not, you know. And your kids, obviously, that live in your home are really going to see past a lot of that other, you know, stuff. And so speaking truth into them, encouraging them, and so that I'm not just having deep, you know, discussions when I'm disciplined. Yeah, man, I'm constantly, you know, pouring into them and saying, you know, this is, even in setting up the boundaries, well, this is why. Because I do want the best for you. And here's what, you know, if you do this or don't do this, the seeds that you are planting today is who you're going to become as a man. Because I've got 3 boys kind of thing. And so I want them to be much better men than I ever have been kind of thing. And so decisions they make right now, you know, will be what they'll harvest later on.
I like that too. Of me and my brother talk about that a lot. Of I got called to the ministry when I was 13 or 14. Daniel has not been called to the ministry. He's probably called out of the ministry, if anything. We talk about it a lot though, because I think his perspective is really interesting, because he had to grow up in that like shadow of Big Brother is on stage preaching in high school. And everyone wants to, like, he's the guy reading his Bible all the time, and all the teachers know him for that. Daniel comes in, and he gets all that pressure put on him. And Daniel's the farthest thing from, like, he's a good kid, and he's a Christian, but he has no interest in preaching. He loves music, but he don't want to be in the worship band. And me and him talk a lot about how for years this isn't parenting, but sometimes I feel like his parent, he felt like he had to be like me. And I always tell him, like, no, in all honesty, sometimes I envy some of the things that he gets to do that I just can't do because of the calling I feel like I have on my life. But then, two, it's good that we're different because there's going to be two very unique ways God uses us, and it's different than even our dads. Of like, me and him both feel the pressure of wanting to be like our dad because it's just the father-son relationship. But then realizing that we're very different than our dad. And then our dad, he doesn't want us to be like him. He's like, no, be better than me.
Yeah.
And hopefully his dad thought the same thing. And like, I think that is what happened is our dad, he came from a very abusive household with a bunch of addiction and whatnot. And I think our dad did better than his dad. Like, my dad didn't know nothing about discipline. Like, his dad, he ain't gonna mind me sharing this, but like, the discipline in their house was abuse, and it got to the point of my grandpa pulling a gun out on my dad as discipline.
Yeah.
My dad isn't coming anywhere near that. And I'm just like, you had, like the worst example of a father, and for you to have done what you did for me as a father, I'm just like, yo, you crushed it. Like, you should get like best out of the year award. Even though he struggled and he had his faults and failings, and like there's things we don't agree on, I still walk away as a kid and just saying, no, my dad did the best. He did better than anyone would have ever expected. And then knowing that that's his goal for us is like the whole time of him putting all these strict rules and instilling discipline in us, making us get up at 6 a.m. on Saturday for nothing. It was because he wanted us to become great men one day and not just another version of him.
Yeah, the purpose in it. Because, I mean, again, I just always go back. I mean, I love when the writer, quotes that about the God disciplines his children kind of thing. And then he goes on so practically to say, no discipline seems pleasant at the time. Well, of course it doesn't. I mean, I don't care what discipline, who wants to be disciplined, but it's with a purpose. And, you say that often. I mean, maybe you've seen it, you could tell early or on. I know for myself, you ask how our parents and stuff, and mine wasn't perfect. Like, it takes time and experience and just age, maturity. As a child, you're not seeing that. As a teenager, 20-something, maybe, most of us not. But now for me, I look back, and even though mine didn't do it perfectly, I'm like, I see it in a whole different light.
Yeah.
I mean, I do, even though there might have been, not conversation or stuff like that. I mean, it was still in love, and it was, they were doing what they could kind of thing. Marcy, I want to ask you something real quick. I know we need to close out. It's just a consistency thing, because if you only have one child, then that's kind of easy. Marcy has 4. And I know with my 3,
remember all their names.
I know with my 3, what I get from the older to the younger is always this. Is the comparison when you're, especially when it's discipline kind of thing. Oh, well, you didn't do that for, Griffin. If Cole's kind of, do you get that? And how do y'all kind of handle that? I mean, are you trying to be consistent from one child to the next, or does it vary? And then how do you explain it to them?
I think it varies. Sometimes it varies because it should, and sometimes it varies because we're lazy. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, really.
Yeah.
I really do think the biggest thing from the older to the younger is, I said this earlier, but you learn that those things that you thought were so important are not that important. Yeah. So you kind of let go of some of those things. But I think it's important to remember too, they're individual people, they're individual children, and you have to discipline them different. It's not cookie cutter. And even in our own home, it was different for each, because there were different things that got them. I mean, there were different things that, like, ouch, that really hurt, I'm not going to do that again, that wouldn't really have bothered, some of them. I mean, bless Carmen's little heart, she just loves to visit with everybody. So, I mean, sticking her in the corner, looking in the other direction where she couldn't see what was going on, I mean, that was worse than anything you could have done.
Yeah.
Now, you stick Colton in the corner and he's perfectly fine for 3 hours. He wouldn't have, I mean, he's like, great, I don't have to talk to anybody. So, they're different.
Yep.
You do... Okay, so I think it's important too with children, just in general, be careful what you speak over them. Like, don't want to be like, this one is the smart one. And if that's what you say to everybody, oh, come and meet, this is my child so-and-so, you know, her grades are so good. This is my other daughter. Isn't she beautiful? You know, she's the beautiful. Those kind of things really, like, those kind of things stick.
They do.
Then this one becomes, oh, my identity comes from being the smart child. So if I mess up, man, I'm done for. Like, you know, what have I done? Or so you just got to be careful. You just got to be careful. They're all different. They're precious, little different. Makes it so much harder. It would be so much easier if there was the do 1, 2, and 3. The end. Now your children will all be, you know, perfect, and everybody will smile, and life is good. It doesn't work that way, though.
This has been another episode of Into the Fray. We want to thank you guys for listening. Please subscribe to the podcast on your podcast feed. We will see you next week for another conversation.